Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let that shit get in my head, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly Wargaming board game podcast. Is that what I say?
Nah, dude.
We start again.
No. Don't give it to him. Don't give it to him.
Oh, man,
I'm
Churchy's
putting
back.
my foot down.
I'm Shane. This is Fox. That's Churchy without a beard.
Yeah,
and this is
But
Hobby Homies.
you don't get to see it.
He's just a giant thumb behind the monitor with his beanie on. He's got his painted nails. Yeah. It's
It's been like 2 weeks.
It's a tabletop podcast,
and I just forget every time.
and board game.
It's written right over there.
Yeah, but
It's upside down, though.
You've become so good that you haven't needed it, but at least it's still there.
We have 1 week off and I revert back to season 2.
That's crazy, dude. That is crazy.
It's probably
Hey,
some kind of disorder.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Warhammer 40k, everyone's favorite game.
Wow, sound more enthused.
I cannot.
We're actually talking about why we no longer play 40k.
Yeah.
And a few proposals on how we would fix it if we were to cater a game.
If they could lend us their ear,
Yeah,
we
their
could
rear
whisper sweet nothings
through their rear.
and how to fix this game, this is what we would tell them.
We would offer them that. But first, I want a disclaimer,
Oh, yeah?
as we have to.
Okay.
These are just our two big morons with smooth brains opinions.
And Churchy.
And Churchy. He can have
Yeah,
it.
my I don't like a certain company very much.
But
I'm not. That's why I'm in the void.
yeah.
The void.
Your
Dwellers
opinion-
really get an opinion.
No, your opinion is void.
Oh well.
No, void.
Welcome, everyone. I'm here all night. So this is just our opinions, and it's important to remember something. Two people can have the exact same experience and have two very different opinions about that experience, and
Sure.
neither of them are wrong.
Okay.
For example, you might say, this miniature has so many cool details on it. I love how detailed it is. And I might be like, this miniature is so overdone.
Yeah.
There's so much details on here. It's unnecessary. It's gaudy.
You're talking about the Blade Guard.
Yeah, I am. Exactly what came to my head. And stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Some people might say 7th edition of Warhammer had the most depth and character to the rules.
And they'd be right.
And some people would say it was bloated and too complicated and unnecessarily layered. Same thing.
They'd be completely wrong.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, so what I'm saying is we also want to know your opinion on these things.
Yeah.
Why, if you have stopped playing 40k, why? If you love it, why? But first, Shane, when I was talking about the idea of this episode,
Yeah.
you said I can name the exact moment I stopped playing 40k.
Oh, dude, I know the pinpoint in my space-time location.
Wow.
Right to the
You know where you
celestial longitude and longitude.
Wow, you really have references from minutes ago. Please tell me about your longitude and latitude.
All right, so it was the moment that I bought, I think this was the end of
Hang on. You were so confident.
7th edition
All right.
Pariah
Nexus.
Nexus
Yeah.
book.
Yes.
Pariah, they had 3. They had like Psychic Awakening, right? That was the whole
I feel like that was the end
Thing.
of 8th.
whatever.
Yeah.
End of 8th. Yes,
Because,
you're right.
end of 7th doesn't make any sense because that's literally when we started playing,
It is.
not when we stopped.
It was the end of 8th.
Yeah, okay.
Because then came the Necron box. Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
It was when I bought the Pariah book because it had the new rules for Necrons and it was like 3 pages.
Yeah, and it
And-
was a full price book.
Yeah, and it was $70 or $60 or
Yeah.
whatever it was at the time. And when I purchased that and opened it, and I'm like, this was the whole Necron thing, right?
Yeah.
The new Illuminor Sarah's
Yeah.
model, that was where his rules were, and everything else for Necrons, and then that was it. And I'm just like, yep, this right here.
Was that like sort of your moment where you said to yourself, this could have just been a white dwarf And the reasons they made this a full book instead of a White Dwarf is now obvious to me, and I just am not about that.
Bro, it could have been a fucking PDF online.
A PDF
could
file.
have been a Warhammer community.
Could have been a doc or a PDF file.
Another reference to 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we're probably pretty hard to follow because a lot of our stuff happens off camera.
When we getting the old Patreon behind the scenes camera going?
Yeah, true. It's over there, but you've been using it for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That could have been a Warhammer community article, dude. It could have been anything, but it had to be a full price book that was just...
And also obsolete in a month or two.
It was.
Because it came out right before 8th where it was like... sorry.
9th.
Right before 9th where it was like...
Idiot.
You can use your old codex and stuff, but also when the new one comes out, sorry.
Yep.
No longer relevant. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like, obviously, since then, I've bought the models from, multiple boxes, right?
Yeah.
Indomitus, Leviathan, and then just a shitload of everything else. But like, you can buy the models but not play the game.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's, that was just...
That was it.
You go.
That was it. No. So your first point, one reason you stopped playing was actually less about the game itself and more about a decision the company made. And that kind of, yeah. That's cool. No, that's good. That'll serve us well later on. Well, if I can think of a game-related, I just feel like we are playing so many games right now.
Yeah.
That if we were to play 40K, we would do it quite casually.
Yeah.
AKA maybe once a month if we were hyped for it. If we address the things we'll talk about later on and we magically fixed this game and made it for us.
Sure.
And we played it once a month, that's probably where we would cap out.
Yeah.
Because then we'd want to play another game on the other 2 or 3 weeks a month.
And there's so many games that we touch on these days too. Like,
yeah, we touch a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, games included. And so I don't think 40K is made for casual players.
No.
And I say that because, they're monetarily the least useful to Games Workshop.
Sure.
Because they would buy models and play it so infrequently that they're not constantly on the cycle.
Yeah.
So, but I also think if you're playing once a month, the rules move so quickly that you're constantly going to be in a position where your rule knowledge is out of date. Mm-hmm. So you're adding that whole intro to the game time. You can't just pick it up and put it on and play using the rules that you learned last month. Or maybe you can, but then the month after that, like, oh, hey, there's a new supplement, a new codex, a new mission pack, a new something.
Oh, chapter approved.
Yeah, exactly. There's a new something that means you are not playing the newest version of the game, and you have to go buy that thing. And you're like, if I'm buying even just one book, let's just say a $90 book every year, and I'm only playing 10 games a year, suddenly I'm paying $9 per game.
Yeah, plus every other book you've had to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Codexes and rule books. Yeah.
And I think it's like there are so many layered rules that if you're having to learn new ones or you're playing casually against an opponent who's in the same boat, between the two of you, you spend more time relearning your armies than you spend actually playing the game.
Yeah.
And I think we'll talk about potentially how you would fix that later on, but I just don't think by design it's made for casual players, especially if you throw in the idea of wanting to maybe twice a year play a little one-day tournament. Because when you go into the tournament, you are required to have the up-to-date books,
of course,
usually.
Yeah.
And you're also on a time limit.
Yeah.
So suddenly, like, now you're under pressure trying to relearn your rules. And also, you're not up to date with the meta and you're just getting absolutely slammed.
It's so stressful being in that position. Like when we played, before that we played the GTO, which was 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
We played that one-day tournament at Guff Werribee.
Yeah.
And I remember playing against an opponent who was like, by all means, he was a great bloke.
Yeah.
But I did not know what I was doing. I did not know my army, did not know the rules. And I could see he was getting frustrated, right?
Yeah.
Because it's eating into the time of the game.
Yeah.
And like, that is not his fault at all. Like he never like said, come on, dude, hurry up.
Yeah.
Like he implied it.
Yeah.
But like he did what most polite people would do and sort of waited and that's it.
Just like gnash their teeth a little bit.
Yeah. and I'm sitting there like sweating
Yeah.
because I'm just like flicking through books. I'm like, is that it? Oh no, that's not it. Flick it back, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yep.
you pass it like 6 times in the book, and
And you're getting more stressed, so you start like not even reading. You start just like your eyes are glazed over, and you're thinking about how long you're taking.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so all right, so that weapon is at the back. Oh, but that special rule is in the actual book. Oh wait, no, that's one of my special guns. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And so, and like,
Not for casual players.
not for casual players and that's a problem too, because the game has no real discerning way to separate casual and competitive play. So when you show up to a 3-day tournament, you're all thrown in together. And
Yeah.
so the chances of you just going 0-3 because you made what you wanted, a thematic and fun list,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I want to take whatever it is,
Yep.
to this tournament, and hopefully I'll pick up my rules quick. You know, I've spent all night trying to flick through them. I've done my best. I've made cheat sheets, cheat cards, whatever.
Yeah.
You go there, you get absolutely smacked. All the miniatures you spent hours painting are gone in 1 or 2 turns, and you just didn't have a good time.
No.
Until maybe your last game where you've already just been beat down 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
Now you're playing against someone equally matched.
He's in the same boat as you.
Yeah, who's
And you just
like,
there to have a good time.
you're like, now we have to have a good time because
Yeah.
the last part of this tournament has been hell.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you do a 2-day tournament. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend that for any casual player.
I feel like, I don't know, there's going to be some people out there that say, like, you know, it can be done casually. They're either geniuses and they just
Yeah.
remember all the rules,
Yeah,
like Ollie,
yeah, yeah.
who play like one game in a year but still just remember everything. Or they'll say, like, oh, what about, you know, the, what was it called? Power level.
Oh yeah, which
Power
doesn't
level
exist anymore.
was, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how much I know.
Yeah,
Well, that
yeah,
was
yeah.
their attempt at more of a casual sort of
Yeah.
atmosphere, right?
And they brought that into 10th.
Okay.
And now it's just called points. That's kind of how points work.
Ah,
It's like
sure.
you just pay points and that's what you bring. And so that's great. But when I think about why do I choose to play 1-page rules over 40K, the main thing is when you jump into 1-page rules, you go on their free list builder, you can put in any unit, any combination you want, you tick competitive validation.
Yeah.
So you know you're playing a nice matched battle.
Yeah.
Well, as best they can.
Yeah.
And then you print that list onto cards, and that has all the rules printed down the bottoms of the pages for you.
Yep.
And then when you need to reference, what does this gun do? Oh, it's just down there on my page. Or if you're using the app, you click it and it pops up and
Yeah.
says, that's what this thing is.
Yep.
Hey, what's the tough 3? Oh, okay, it means it has 3 wounds. Sweet. None. Flicking through pages.
Yep.
And so I'm like, the accessibility and the casual nature of that far surpasses. That's all the things that is the barrier for me playing 40K is that I would,
Yeah.
if I wanted to jump in now with my Necrons, the amount of stuff I would have to buy just to play a game,
Yeah.
and then use a list builder that I would need to have purchase the $90 codex to import the code in so that I have access to the unit so I can build the list.
Yeah.
No, thank you. To
Yeah.
play a game that maybe I don't even like this edition.
Yeah.
That's just to play. I haven't even played yet. I don't know what my stuff does.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's my biggest gripe is just how quickly the rules move. But not so much that, more the monetary value tied to how quickly the rules move.
Sure. Instead of releasing it as just like a quarterly update
Yeah.
with a free errata,
Yeah.
it's like,
yeah.
here's a new book or,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. And like they do updates. I said do.
This guy said, dude.
They do updates, but that's
Yeah.
just like a small drop in the pond of everything else you need to
Yeah.
be able to play. So yeah, that was another barrier for me.
Yeah.
Another thing that stopped me playing.
Yep. Yep. The price of the plastic is getting pretty up there too, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like we talked about the Scaventide box coming out for Age of Sigmar, which was what retails $450.
Yep.
I remember when the first edition of Age of Sigmar came out, and that box was $200.
Yeah. Granted, you get more models now, but not twice as many. So, and like in my head, I feel like those boxes are the only time I can really afford to buy in.
Yeah, to
'Cause-
like actually justify the purchase,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah,
Because 450 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But also the Pariah Nexus box was like 450. You remember that? That was like, was that Sisters? It was Sisters v Necrons.
Oh, I didn't.
And you got
get it.
crap all and a bit of like weird scatter terrain. And I was like,
Oh yeah, isn't that a Kill Team box?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But surely that wasn't 450. I could have been. Anyways,
Could have been $350. Could easily be
450 less 20% if you buy it from a local gaming store that price matches or whatever.
Yeah.
What's that come down to? What's 10% of 450, 45%, 90, $700?
That's a quick guess. That's a quick math.
Yeah. No, it costs $700 now. So say you got it down to like 360 and you only wanted to buy half, so you split it with your friends. Now you're talking about like 180.
Yeah, but then like who gets the rule book, who gets the terrain?
You can have that shit. You can have that. So 180 for what you get in there, that's okay. When I think of terrible prices, I think of you can go and back Fjord Serpents for like 140 Australian dollars now.
Sure.
Or you could buy like 3 Space Marines.
Yeah.
Or like 3 of the Old World Knights. Or just stuff like that. Okay, yeah, 3 models or an entire game.
Yeah.
3 models by the biggest company that can scale and pump out these pieces of plastic, or like a game by an indie designer out of Australia. That's your choice. That's on you. But you're right. It's pretty up there. The price is getting pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, yeah.
So is that probably your second thing that's stopping you?
It's another big barrier that I went to a couple of hobby shops today and I glanced at the 40k aisle.
Yeah.
I didn't stop to pick up anything.
Yeah.
I saw the back of the Boarding Actions Kill Team box with all the terrain.
Yeah.
What was that? 300 something. 300 something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool.
That's with the sticker on the back. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, cool.
Yep.
It's good for that person that likes that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I bought like a Nightbringer the other week when I was in Sydney because they had it, right? It was a model that like is normally one of those you can only buy off the web store kind of things.
Sure.
And I think that was $70 or something like that.
Yeah.
For just the one model.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like, in Sydney, it's not normally on the shelf. You know, I've made all these like mental excuses.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a straight up, yep, I'll get that.
Yeah.
Like where you could with a box of anything else.
Yeah. And like even the prices, like they've gone up obviously every year. Every year they've upped the price. But I remember, and this isn't even that long ago, that I bought, this is probably 2 years ago, I bought 16 Kroot, the old carnivore kit, for $55. Mm-hmm. And now it's 10 for 84.
Sure.
Or is that the 20% off price?
Who knows?
You know? So it's like, it's not even, we're talking about price. And yes, Warhammer has always been expensive retrospectively to its competitors, which didn't exist really.
Yeah.
And for what it is, I treat it kind of like Lego. I say it's a hobby like Lego. It's got a big price. There's one company that does it well, really well. Mm-hmm. Or in the case of Lego, that's the case. But in Games Workshop,
Mega
not so
Blocks.
much. Mega Blocks, yeah. Duplo. You know, they're still like a set above everyone else, and it is expensive. Those Lego kits are expensive. Mm-hmm. But like you can buy one, build it, put it up there.
Yep.
And that's kind of the enjoyment out of it. Mm-hmm. Whereas like you need so much more than one box.
Yep.
To play 40k. It's intended to be played at 2k. You need to spend $1,000 on that army.
Yep.
Not including paints, books, nothing. So that price is great. And that's if you want just one army and never to change it.
That's always been a thing, right? Where I thought about it too in a way. It's like, yes, I'm paying, X amount for this box of units, but I'll paint them and then I'll get, 100 hours of enjoyment out of them over their lifespan, right?
Yeah.
When you think about all the games you'll play and everything like that. But then you see what they do with like all the Age of Sigmar models. Now models that aren't even 6 years old. Sorry, you can't even play them in our game anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, some of them are going to make new sculpts.
Yeah.
But all of these that came out 4 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Nah.
So you're saying you can't even rely on that aspect of it where you're like, at least over the life I'll get X amount of hours out of it.
In that system, in the 40k system, who knows what's going to happen, man? Yeah. Maybe, in 2 years' time, they're going to say like, hey, all those cool Death Guard models you got back when Dark Imperium came out?
Yep.
Sorry, you can't play them anymore.
Yeah, they're gone. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. They're gone.
Yeah. All those Phobos Marines? Nah, sorry, we now have Phoebos Marines.
And they're better.
But they look the same.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand.
So that's like, I see the models and I just, everything I look at that's Warhammer, I look at how am I going to use this that's not Warhammer.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best part about Warhammer models.
Yeah.
Is that they look so great, and I go in, like, if I see cool models come out, my first thought is, damn, that would be perfect for Parsecs.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
That would make a sweet this in my OPR army.
Yeah.
Or I can't wait to like war surge those up as these things that do this thing.
Yeah.
So
They're just proxy models now.
yeah, exactly.
They become proxy.
I am become proxy.
Yeah.
And if maybe there's an addition of 40k where they do all the things we'll suggest in a sec,
Yeah.
then we can use them for that maybe if it hasn't been 4 or 6 years. My second point I just want to quickly talk on before we try and fix it
Yeah.
is the reason I stopped playing is because to me, it's just not fun. So like these are the things that I don't view as fun. I don't think waiting for my opponent to take an hour and a half to have their turn because they're playing a horde army.
Yeah.
That's not fun. They should be able to play a horde army.
Sure.
And I don't think it's fun to play the horde army and be taking an hour to do your movement phase.
Yeah, because you're sitting there like, oh, mate, it's just waiting for me to finish moving
and
all
this
these.
is just my movement. I haven't even done shooting, whatever, and melee and used all my abilities and stuff. It's not fun having to keep track of all the new rules to me, and it's not fun to see my opponent bring a list that they want to run, but the army that they're playing has a 67% chance win rate. Mine's got a 38, and there's nothing really I can do about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's not fun having my entire army that I spent hundreds of hours painting blown off the table turn one.
Yeah.
That works in other games where you can crank out the game in an hour and a half.
Yeah, because you can play
all right,
again.
Now I'll make sure I don't do that again, and I
Yeah.
can play again, and I
Yeah.
can play again. It's It's mentally exhausting to go through a full Warhammer game, and a lot more times than not, it's just unenjoyable at the moment.
Yeah.
So the reason I stopped playing is it's like, why would I have this experience where we're still in this archaic, I do all of my stuff,
Yeah.
and then if there's anything left of you, you do your stuff,
Yeah.
and then we just slog it out and then have these long breaks where I'm just watching you play. Mm-hmm. It's like watching your mate play Nintendo. You're like, God, I hope he dies soon so he can hand me the controller. It's like that.
Yeah.
But why would I play that when there are other games where we can interact back and forth because they know that a thing called alternate activations exist?
Yeah.
And I'm sick of people treating Warhammer like a Yu-Gi-Oh game where they just look at the stats and the combos and the numbers and they go, here's how I can make the most busted thing so I can win all my games.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just keep completely disregarding the flavor and the lore and the character that this game has.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I see, like, it used to be a thing that people said in 7th at the end, and I remember this because when I got into it, I was like, oh, I don't know, I think the rules are pretty good. Anyway, they said people come for the miniatures, stay for the lore, and endure the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like that has worked for years
Yeah.
because we had to endure the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't have to. So people like you and me, we're out for now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yep.
Having said all that, if you could wave a magic wand, what things do you think, if they did it tomorrow, you'd be like, yeah, I'll give 40k a crack. That interests me.
Well, you touched on it briefly, but alternating activations is king. We know that from all of the games we've been playing.
Literally all of them.
I can't think of a game that we've played recently that hasn't had alternating activations.
The only games that can do it and it works are like skirmish games, I feel like.
Alternating activations?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, like not doing alternate
Oh, not
activations.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Infinity has like not really alternating activations. You've got like activation points. You might have 7 on your turn if you've got 7 units in your army, kind of.
Yeah.
And so you use all 7.
Sure.
But that's not that many.
But there's moments where your opponent can sort of
Still interact. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. But also it never feels like your opponent's having their entire turn.
Yeah.
Because they'll quickly combo up 3 things from this unit.
Sure.
2 from another, turn's done. So
Okay.
it's more like, oh, you did 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Now I'll do 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. So
Yep.
War Surge has a different kind of alternating activations.
Yeah.
Which is, at the first, I thought, oh, I don't know if I'd do that. But after playing it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That works. Because it's like you do all of your movement.
Yeah. It's like phases.
Yeah, and then you do all of your movement.
Yeah.
Then I do all of my...
That was the beginner mode of War Surge. The advanced mode eliminates that, and you use activation points.
Oh, okay.
Basically, like you have actions, I should say.
Oh, sure.
So it's like you move and then shoot, or move and then do something else.
Yeah, interesting.
So, but
So other people have done other things that are not just your old war game, old school. I have my entire turn.
yep, you go,
watch.
I go.
Yeah, you go have a beer.
Yeah, you have
And
to
then
sleep.
yeah, go have a nip, a
Yeah.
kippity nip.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you would just, if they said, oh, hey, we're changing it to alternate activations tomorrow, is that enough for you to jump in?
I don't even know, dude.
Or is there something else they got to do?
I just feel like it's just been a bad relationship for so long.
Yeah.
And like they can post as much, beach pics on Instagram as they want and tag themselves at all these nightclubs. I'm not slipping into those DMs.
Right.
I've been there. I've had that bad relationship
Yeah. Yeah.
with Warhammer.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Like they can thirst as much as they want, dude.
You're saying that they send you nudes out of nowhere.
Warhammer could send me butthole pics, and I'm not DMing.
I don't believe that. That's cap. I'm sorry. I know you.
No cap.
That's cap.
No cap.
That's cap. You're not spitting facts. That's cap. You're wearing a big old cap. Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like it's just been it's too little, too late.
Yeah. I think
Or maybe 11th edition. I don't know.
who's the main protagonist for 11th? I'm in. Yeah, I think the thing that would get me in, like interested in playing again, is if they just did free rules. Mm-hmm. You can have your shitty app.
Yep.
And you can make me spend $10 a month on it. And I'm gonna, if doing that allows me to list build and have
Everything?
access to every rule. And then the casual player, it's everything that's good about OPR. The casual player in 6 months from now can be like, oh, I don't know what 40K is up to.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yes I do, because I have the most updated version on my phone.
Yeah.
I haven't hang on, let me hit the sub button. $10, sweet. Okay, I can build my list.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, people are gonna go, oh yeah, but they've got to make money because they're a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
With shareholders and whatnot. I think that's going to make them way more money because, they're not selling books that people already pirate and go to Wikipedia and build lists.
Yeah.
I don't know if people use Battlescribe anymore, but anyway. Maybe. But how crazy is it that up until recently, it was like, hey, this is what you need to play Warhammer. You need to go to Wikipedia. You need to download Battlescribe, which has the latest rules.
Yeah.
From there, you can print your list, and then you buy your models and your paints and stuff.
That's how you play it for free.
That's how you play Warhammer. That's how people would just say that you played because they're
Yeah.
like, oh, no, you don't want to buy the codex. Like, yours has already been out for a year. There's probably a new one coming soon.
Yeah.
Probably got a supplement on the way.
Yeah.
So if they just did that, I reckon they would have twice as many people playing. Mm-hmm. Like, all your casual people would just be like, oh, what? The rules are free. I just buy this $10 app every month. Yeah, okay, I'll spend $10, give it a go. They'll love it, I expect. And then they'll buy some more miniatures. And so you'll be I think you would make more money that way than making people pay for a thing that they are only buying because they need it to play the game, not because they want it.
Yeah, yeah.
You could still have codexes and say, hey, there's lore, hobby stuff, painting guides.
Yeah, yeah.
And see
it's
the
there
value.
to buy if you want to buy it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And you'd still sell them.
I think so. Yeah.
Sure, you'll sell less because it's not mandatory.
Yeah.
But they're still going to be sold.
Yeah.
Make your collector's edition ones and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff with the fancy covers and all that. But just let people have access to see if they're going to even like an army.
Yeah. That's
It's
it.
like, I've been looking at Eldar for so long. I want to see what their rules are like.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. This looks fun. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go and buy that combat patrol box.
That's crazy right now that if you jump online, if you go to 40K, if you want to get into 40K and you're like, oh, you go on the website and you're like, oh, these things look cool. What do they do? You have no idea.
Nah.
You've no way of knowing if this is something that you actually want, has a play style that you want.
Yeah.
The Games Workshop stores are relying you to go in there, flick through their codex, you tell them about it. But if you don't have one locally, and you have to buy online, you just gotta like Google and jump on Wikipedia.
Maybe try and watch a bat rep if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But even then, they don't really go into detail.
Yeah, and then you're just like, okay, so for an hour and a half, I've researched and I've discovered I don't like this unit. On to the next one.
Yeah.
How many of these? Anyways,
Yeah.
so I think I think if they did those two things, alternating activations so that you're constantly doing something,
Yeah, more engagement.
free, up-to-date, downloadable, not even free, like $10 a month. You
Yeah.
can have your subscription. I know that's what they want, is everyone on pseudo subscriptions. Do it. $10 a month. That's still like $120 a year. If someone's actively playing, they're probably spending just as much money,
Yeah.
but they're getting so much more value. And now they can see other codexes.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, now I can go buy this and this because I know what it does. And I'm having fun. I can help my friends to play. Introducing your friends to this game right now sucks. You wouldn't bother. You would be like, oh, you need to spend thousands of dollars to start.
Yep.
You would just be like, oh, I'll just play one-page rules. It's all free.
Yeah.
Pick some models off
Or
the shelf.
$5 a month from Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing for me is the rules and having to pay for all the auxiliary stuff unnecessarily that should have been digital years ago, that other games that make less money, who don't turn over 400 million annually, are doing. So anyways, that's how I'd fix it. Anything else?
No, that you've summed it up.
Okay, cool.
You said it good earlier on. You're saying that they're hanging on to these very archaic systems.
Yeah.
And like things like the whole, the semi-digital, but still quite analog.
It's like, it's digital,
Rule
but you
system.
also have to have bought the physical thing to import digitally
Yeah.
so that you can then throw out that book.
Yeah. Yeah. You're buying that, what are they, $94 or something now?
Yeah.
For that bloody 10-digit code or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand that it's a soulless company whose goal is to make money. And so, although I am jaded with a lot of their complete disrespect for customers at times, if they were to change those things, make the rules free, alternate activations is a nice twist, I would probably just start playing it.
Sure.
Maybe. If it's like, choose between supporting this company that raised their price and said it was due to inflation to cover costs who made 400 million, or support one-page rules like a smaller company who built itself off the back of being
Fed up with all this shit.
non-GW, like just being GW but not shitty.
Yeah.
I'd probably choose to support that if the game is just as good to play.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of work to do there. But that's just us. These are our opinions. We've played a lot of Warhammer, but we've also, I think the biggest thing, played a lot of other games.
Yeah.
And they're, honestly, for us, so much more fun.
Yeah. If you have only ever played Warhammer, and there are people like you out there,
Yeah, that was us
that was us.
before we started the podcast.
There are other things, and we have that on our channel.
Yeah.
Other things. There's so many other games out there that are just worth a shot. Like,
Yeah. Give it a go.
without like branching out and playing all these different games, I don't even know if I'd still be in the hobby, dude.
Yeah,
If it
that's
wasn't
a fact.
for other
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
if it was just Warhammer, I probably would have given up.
Yeah, I agree. If we weren't doing this podcast
Yeah.
and there was just Warhammer, I would be just playing video games again.
Yeah.
And I'd
Yeah.
have a bunch of unpainted minis up on the shelf.
Yeah.
And every time I try to get in, we'd be met with the same barriers. Oh, you need the new codex.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
new rules and the supplement.
Every year that we go, oh, maybe
Yeah.
we should get Warhammer. It's like, oh, cool, more
Yeah, okay.
books.
$300 just to see if I like the game again.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yep, that's
Yeah.
us. That's why we're not playing it at the moment. We'll never say never. Just like we once upon a time said 40K will always be our main jam.
we said that.
We said that repeatedly. That's all we said season
I don't
one.
believe you.
Yeah, I'll just go listen to anything. Anything we said in season one. People change, tastes change, and
Yeah.
you might have been in our shoes and now you're back playing 40K and maybe something about 10th edition roped you in. Let us know what it is.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments for this video. Check out our Discord. Let us know in the Discord. We've got a 40K channel.
Yeah.
Where it's mostly people posting their hobby, but that's fine. There's not much game talk in there.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember
Has
last
there
time
ever
I saw
been
it.
game talk in
I
there?
don't know, to be honest. That's a great point. But we would love you to jump in there and give us
Yeah.
some game talk.
Let us know.
Just because we said we currently don't like it, playing it, doesn't mean we're not interested in it.
Oh, no, of course.
So bring it on. Let us know.
Yep. So links to all of our stuff on hobbyhomies.com.
Yep.
We also have a PO box if you want to send us anything physical
Yeah.
for some archaic reason.
Like a codex.
Like a codex.
Like a 7th edition codex.
PO Box 43, Lara, Victoria 3212. Fox, he stopped asking for junk.
I just assume it's coming. Give me the junk.
I'm filtering it.
Yeah, I was like, I haven't said much about my junk recently.
It's junk, dude. You don't want it.
Is it in your trunk? How much junk is in your trunk? That's what I want to know.
Enough.
Facts. That's not cap.
It's cap, dude.
It's cap.
It's cap. Massive thank you to our patrons.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, we also have a Patreon for as little as $2 a month. $20 a month.
Good job selling it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the show, support us. If you don't, thanks for hanging around.
There are other ways to support us as well besides monetarily. You can use our affiliate links in the description where a sale at no extra cost to you, a little bit goes our way. We've got ones for Drive Through RPG, Wargame Vault, and Oz Wargaming. 10% off with our code in the description for 3D printed miniatures and terrain.
Oh, yeah, I was on Oz Wargaming just before, and I have decided what I'm going to do for my 50-50 challenge, and I have purchased 2 models. There's some good models on there. Suss it out, ozwargaming.com.au.
Yep.
Use our affiliate code, as Shane mentioned. And thank you to our patrons for your continued support. You're all a bunch of legends.
Yeah. Massive thank you to all of these guys. For $2 a month, you can get early access to videos like this and stuff from our other channel as well, so go check out that. Got some main homies, some homies, and some legendary homies like MJ, Moose, Fatboy, Axe, Annex, Real One, that's you, Numa, Goats, Burnsy, Final Dinosaurs, Hockers, Gridlock, and Journeyman.
We got the OG homies, Black Apollo, Alco, Churchy, Rad Brewster, Ollie, Penny, Aggro, Don Hua, Don, Pure Blind, Jackson V, Nathan A, Mini Walmart, Oz Wargaming, and Big Roach. Thank you all for your continued support. If you stay subbed to us for 6 more months, we can buy some Space Marines.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
We'll see you then.
Hooroo.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny turn red. Can't let that shit in my head, war gaming.